Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Today guys, I'll be checking out this interesting video from Candace Owens, and it's titled Holy Smokes, the media just put a hit on me. You guys, I'm excited for this. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what Candace Owens has for us in this video.
All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. You are not going to believe this, but I have learned that a media hit was put on my name. Yes, internally, sort of a memo was circulating. Don't talk about Candace Owens anymore. They don't want to report on me. What is up with that? You're not going to believe what I have to share. Plus, later on in the show, something seems to be going on with Justin Bieber, and I think that it has everything to do with the fact that he's a Christian and he's in Hollywood, and that is simply not allowed. Christians in Hollywood, no good. All that and more today, coming up on Candace Owens. All right, guys, so this actually happened, and I'm not really sure what to make of it. I'm just going to do my thing and overshare and tell you guys everything. So recently, as in a couple of months ago, a publication, which I am not going to name, but they are one that used to cover me all the time. They used to cover this show all the time, just a very positive experience and always saying great things about me, suddenly just stopped. I became persona non grata. So I hired someone a couple of weeks ago who had the means to look into this because I was just curious. And I am pretty shocked at what they uncovered. Essentially, there was this effective ban, sort of an internal embargo of sorts on my name. More shocking is the reason behind it, because why? What did I do? Have I changed my stances? Well, among other things, they claimed that I was I'm not kidding, quote unquote, Christian nationalist. Yeah, Christian nationalist. What I can tell you also is that I got at least one name that was circulating this idea, and it is very much a person that is a part of what we term here the military industrial complex. So I think that's kind of a weird thing. I thought it was strange because, listen, I am obviously very proudly a Christian, but I don't think any person that watches this show would say that I wear my Christianity on my sleeve. I don't know if there would be anything wrong with it, but we're not exactly, praying on the show. Maybe we should be, given everything that's happening in society. Yeah. But I would definitely say that any listener of this show would not be like, oh, Candace Owens is a Christian nationalist. Although I'm not sure I have any problems with either of those terms. I definitely do consider myself to be a nationalist, and I am a Christian. But they're saying this in a much more dirty way. And I thought about it, and I said, where else have I heard that term before? Well, if you're paying attention, you guys, it is everywhere as of late. And I want you to pay very close attention to this, because suddenly Christianity is being smeared and libeled and attacked, and they're trying to make it synonymous with white supremacy. Yeah, check this out. All of these articles were published back to back in February. This from PBS, the headline, "What is Christian nationalism and why it raises concerns about threats to democracy?" Here's Axios. Poll, most Americans cool to Christian nationalism as its influence grows. Oh, really? We're conducting polls and we're saying that Christian nationalism is influential? Wow. Another headline here, this is NPR. Christian nationalism's support is strongest in rural conservative states. Here's the New York Times. 4 ways of looking at Christian nationalism. So again, just to be clear, all of these publications and these headlines came out within the last month. And you're probably going to believe this, but it's also getting the Hollywood spin. It must get the Hollywood treatment. Once the propaganda goes out, it's gotta, of course, now appear on our screen. Somebody has to go deep into it to examine the crisis. And the man for the job is apparently Rob Reiner. Yeah, he is directing a new documentary, and it's called God and Country, which puts Christian nationalism in America under the spotlight. Wow. And so he's doing a tour to promote this new documentary. And he visited, of course, Christiane Amanpour, because she's the #1 state journalist over at CNN. And here's what he had to say. Take a listen.
Wow, you guys, what are your thoughts on this? And do you guys think there's an agenda against Christianity? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let's continue watching, you guys.
Rob Reiner, welcome to the program. Thanks for having me.
What inspired you to do God and Country about Christian nationalism as a documentary? Because obviously you're really well known for your fantastic films.
Well, you know, I've kind of known about this movement for quite a while. I mean, back in the late 70s, early 80s, Norman Lear launched an organization called People for the American Way, which focused on this idea that the Christian right was going to dictate what we should listen to, what we should not listen to, and it was very disturbing to him. And as time went by, I saw this movement grow, but I didn't realize how powerful it was and how well organized and well funded it was until I read this book called The Power Worshippers by Catherine Stewart. And I then realized that this has taken root far more deeply than I had ever thought.
Ooh. Are you guys scared? Are you shooketh to your cores? You heard him? It's way deeper. I'm sure when you look around of the myriad of issues that are facing our country today, what you're really concerned about is that there might be some Christians that are also in love with their country. They're Christian nationalists. Yeah, I know, when you see the drug dealers, the illegals, the criminality, the gang violence, you're going, but it's the Christians that we should definitely be afraid of. So what is this actually? Well, I think it's a further attempt to divide and brainwash Christians, and that has been going on actually for decades. So I'd like to use my platform to encourage Christians to actually learn about your own history. Because if you're like me, you thought Christianity was something to be embarrassed of growing up, and that is by design. They used to teach the Bible in classrooms all across the U.S. We used to pray in schools. And then lawsuits were filed, and that all went away beginning in the 1960s. And it has been intentional. It's been intentional to divide Christians, to make people like me feel embarrassed to have had extremely Christian grandparents who wanted us to pray around the dinner table. And they're doing that again. They want you to think that being a Christian now is synonymous with white supremacy. Who is behind it? Well, we know that anything that is demonic and backwards and satanic will, of course, be sponsored by Hollywood, which is, for the record, demonic and backwards and satanic. And that brings me to Justin Bieber, because something has been going on with him for years, actually. I never really quite paid attention to it. But with everything that we've recently learned about the blackmail ring, what we learned about with Diddy, people are starting to really wonder. So just to bring you up to speed, obviously, I love Justin Bieber. I think his music is amazing. Actually, I hope he goes on an Eras tour. But he was a child when he was brought into the industry. He was discovered on YouTube, super innocent, super young. What was he, maybe 11, 12 years old? So very much a potential victim in the industry of evil. We know that he was mentored by Usher. Usher appeared in his first video. And Usher, just in case you have not been paying attention, was also listed in the recent Diddy documents. Now, again, this is all being alleged, but that producer who filed the lawsuit against Diddy claims that Mr. Combs, Diddy, informed him that he had engaged in sexual intercourse with a rapper that was redacted and an R&B singer that was redacted. The mystery R&B singer is described as someone who performed at the Super Bowl and has had a successful Las Vegas residency. Well, that leads many people to conclude the person who just performed at the Super Bowl, course, is Usher. And he also has or had a Las Vegas residency. Going back to Justin, though, what we know for a fact is that Justin was very innocent when he arrived on the scene, and then he suddenly went through a very intense period of partying. And on multiple occasions, Diddy was with him at the helm, and he didn't look good. In fact, they ended up canceling a tour. It was very clear that he was deep in the throes of something. I would suspect, again, I'm alleging here, that it was some sort of an addiction. And gratefully, he had his life saved, I think, when his then manager, Scooter Braun, just canceled his tour outright. And then something happened that was a miracle. He met and married, I think he had met her previously, but he very quickly married his very Christian wife, Hailey Bieber, and his world completely changed. And genuinely, I am grateful for that, because you don't tend to see that sort of a story in Hollywood. Now, when you see Justin Bieber, he's not that party boy that we saw. He tends to be attending church. But as I said, we know that Hollywood and the school system as well hates Christianity. and two church-going people in the industry simply cannot be allowed.
Wow, you guys, I'm so happy for Justin Bieber that he finally found Christ, because if he kept up with the pace he was going as a star, he might eventually have ended up in a very destructive way. But God always have a way of saving someone. First of all, he brought a very Christian girl for him, and today Justin Bieber is now a Christian. How God does his thing is always very, very surprising. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Justin Bieber will be cancelled in Hollywood because of his faith? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and let's wrap this video up, you guys.
A few days ago, a person named Victor Marks, who is allegedly Justin's pastor, took to the internet and made a very unusual request. So just so you know who Victor Marks is, factually speaking, according to his website, he is a former Marine who was sexually abused throughout his childhood. And because of that, he suffered from extreme PTSD. He then turned to drugs throughout his life. And then he found God, and his entire life changed. Now he dedicates his life to helping other people through the means of finding God, people who have gone through that same experience as him, and people who haven't gone through that experience, but also are going through things that need God, right? Well, he shared this, Mr. Marks, on his Instagram. First, there was a clip, and it said, "Christians, please, when you think of Justin and Haley, take a moment to offer a little prayer for them, to have wisdom, protection, and to draw close to the Lord." And then in the caption, he wrote this: "I seldom like to post about certain folks in the limelight because of the negative comments that we get. Eileen and Haley's mom pray often together for J and H, of course, Justin and Haley, and our children as well. There are special challenges that folks in high visibility positions face, and also the enemy doesn't want them to draw closer to Jesus. So often, regardless of the material things or the accolades, they often face spiritual warfare that intensely seeks to shipwreck their faith, marriage, and life in general. So thank you." And then what followed that posting was that it was shared, the clip was shared by Hailey Bieber's father. So, of course, the internet has been going, what is going on? What is going on? And I think, by the way, that is all of us in the world wondering what is going on. It is so clearly some sort of a spiritual battle that is happening. And every time we get a glimpse of some truth, it seems that the forces unite and more evil happens. And I can't imagine what Justin Bieber knows as a young person that came up in the industry. And he's not the only one. The people that are in the industry that understand how terrifying it is. I can't imagine what sort of a pressure he is going through if his relationship with God has been strengthened over the years, then I would imagine that the evil that he experienced and the evil that he saw is weighing heavier and heavier on his heart. And so what I would like to say as a quote unquote Christian nationalist to any person that is going through this conflict is to understand that Christians will stand by you if and when you are ready to share the truth. We will be there, we will pray for you, and the entire world, even people that are not Christians, will thank you, because we know that there is something very sinister that is going on, and we are all suddenly being aware that Christians are being considered an evil because we are perhaps the only people, once we become united, if we actually unite in our faith, that could perhaps conquer a lot of the evil that we are going on. So yeah, there's a hit on me, and I would say very much a hit on Christians at large. Pay attention and pray. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Wow, you guys, that was such an interesting one from Candace Owens. And what are your thoughts on Justin and Hailey Bieber becoming Christian fully? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I really enjoyed this video with Candace Owens. She has said nothing but the truth, and I had fun reacting to her. If you guys totally enjoyed watching, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.